Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Hakodash. And double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us His truth. Let's sincere shalom to the hopeful like this out there, listening, learning, and or teaching the truth in sincerity. Shalom. So yeah, Akim, I'm not 100% sure how this lesson is going to go, but I got a few precepts I wanted to go into. You know, uh, I've been watching a lot of, just this situation that's been going on recently, and with the EP Stein files and all that, and basically looking at how the people are reacting, man, because ultimately, these Americans, these Babylonians, they've been pacified, they've been made docile, okay, and it's to the point now where people basically they see that these all their leaders are a bunch of PDF files, and that's to put it lightly, man, because if you really look into the details of it, okay, it's much worse than just that, man. Like the things they did and continue to do to these children, man, okay, whether they be, and a lot of it is happening in other places, not just in that one island, man. But basically, the point being, man, I mean, you could watch that movie Monsters Inc., right? You already know about the sacrifices they do to their idols, okay, using these children, so on and so forth, okay. Uh, I don't know if I could say the word, but the red juice, right? That comes from you know, those that were sacrificed. But anyway, not to get into too much detail, the point of the video being the American people are seeing it, right? A lot of people are seeing it all over social media, on YouTube, and there's a lot of talks of a civil war eventually taking place, man. Okay, so they're bringing out more and more of the files, and who knows, man, they may end up bringing out some really obvious shit, because a lot of people will look at the files and most of it is blacked out. There's not much shit going on. You might see a statue of a demon in the background or some shit like that, or a child statue or some shit. You might see uh the dude uh with a young girl on his lap or whatever, but it's like they releasing more and more shit to where it's gonna be blatantly obvious, because there's some of these Americans they got their heads so far up their ass that they'll see all the shit that's already been coming out, and they're still just living in la la land. But see, what's gonna happen is, I believe through the spirit, is this is gonna cause a lot of turbulence, man. Okay, because the scripture says that these devils will be exposed. Okay, and of course, before the Lord destroys this place, it has to be exposed what these devils are doing. Now, we've already brought out what these devils have done during the time of slavery, right? Where they've taken our people and forced us into hard labor and bondage. And they were doing the same things to our children back then, raping them, torturing them, feeding them to alligators, you know, uh, having their dogs eat them alive, all type of things. We could go into the transatlantic slave trade, the Spanish conquest, of the Americas. And you see that this devil is the same devil, man. And we told you people that are just now figuring this shit out, we've known this for years, that they were doing that shit, and like they were doing in that island. We already knew it. It was obvious to us, man. Okay, and a lot of you are listening to this, losing your goddamn minds. A lot of you can't sleep at night because your whole worldview has been shift 180, because now everything is coming to the light, man. Which that I want to get a precept to that. all's well. This is Luke 8 and 17. For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad, right? So it's coming abroad what these devils are doing behind closed doors, man. Okay, it's already been coming abroad that basically this whole thing is a monopoly. This whole economy and the way they got you people working nonstop at the bottom, making themselves richer. You know, people were already pissed about that. Okay, and now this shit drops. All right, and it literally shows you that we live in a fucking in an incredibly wicked society, man. All right, even more so than people have believed. Right, and that's for lack of a better word, man. We live in a dystopia. Okay, there you go. All those children that goes missing. Okay, and the things, and I encourage you, those that have no idea what I'm talking about, you really need to figure out what I'm talking about, man, because why we can't really talk about it too much. Videos will get taken down, strikes, so on and so forth. But you know, y'all can look it up and look at all the theories they talk about. You know, you could look up Monsters Inc. It goes into that, right? You could look up that adrenochrome shit. You know, you could look up that. Right? That stuff is real, man. That's what these billionaires, these presidents, these CEOs. That's what, you know, your musicians, celebrities. They all partaking in that shit, man. And then they got you people working like dogs for crumbs at the bottom, while they have their way with your kids and have their way with your money, treat you like shit. You see, and we were right, man. That's why we have a hatred for Esau, man. An incredible hatred, man. The scripture says to love the Lord, you must hate evil, man. Okay, and y'all thought we were crazy talking about how this devil Esau, you know, is we gotta hate him and that the Lord hates him. Now you understand why the Lord hates him, man. It wasn't just, oh, they did slavery one time and that was it. No, dude, you simple-minded simpletons, man. The wickedness goes so fucking deep. It's all around you. Look around you, man. The shoes you wear are not designed for your body. That's why you got back pain, knee pain. Right? It's all to make money. Right? The clothes you wear is designed to make you sick. The food you eat is designed to make you sick. Right? When you go to the so-called doctor, right? You gotta be careful what I say here, right? You go there and you leave worse. Okay? It's all by design, man. But you people don't research. You people don't give a shit. That's why y'all love making... See, a lot of you jakes, your favorite pastime is making fun of the Hebrew Israelites. But now you waking up to the reality that we were right, you know? And now you're fucking... Now you're going to start thinking it. And, you know, if you know what's going on around you, and you're going to see that this world was a giant nightmare, and we were right the whole time, man. The guys you thought were mean and just, you know, just being angry out here, it's justified, man. You see? It's justified, man. More stuff's going to come out. The Lord's going to continue to expose this devil, man. All right, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is the wicked man. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Okay, and in my Bible, there's a note in my 1611. It says, with more shame than glory, right? Because you think about the Edomite, the so-called white man, a lot of our people look up to him, right? They worship this man, especially our woman, okay? But what's happening is with this PDF files drop, okay, it's more shame than glory. So what? You got a great military. So what? You conquered the world. You're a bunch of fucking wild animals. You're worse than the people you called savages, man. You know? They're worse than the people they call savages, man, which really we were never, you know, as bad as they say. Okay, it was all propaganda. But, you know, in their mind, they envisioned us like wild beasts, just go around killing each other and, you know, acting like wild animals. Wild animals are better than you Edomites, man. Wild animals don't do that shit, you know? And this is the Lord exposing him ultimately, because what's going to happen is the Lord is going to give him his judgment. But before the Lord utterly destroys Esau, he's going to let the world know what this man did to deserve this shit. All right, it says, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. Right, the Lord is uncovering all this wickedness. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory. That's right, shameful spewing, man. All right, people see this man as the devil, and you got all these so-called white people on social media saying we are the problem. So-called white people saying that they are, them talking, saying, "Oh, guys, these Epstein files, and the all these wars all over the world. Us white people really are the problem." And they're dropping videos like that, man. Their children are complaining of slavery that they did. You see, and us Israelites, us so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians are watching this unfold, man. We told you the Lord was gonna do this. Okay? So we're in a time of prophecy, man, and eventually it's gonna be turned. And you know what? Before I grab this, let me go ahead. Their children. Let's get that one real quick. In the Apocrypha, this is Sirach 41:7. The children will complain of an ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. Yeah. The whole world sees who these Edomites are, man. That's why these Edomites, they so tired of that, what they call white guilt, so-called. But it's like, nah, you can't be tired of it. You people did slavery. You people continue to destroy the earth, the people, doing terrible things, ruling society in a fucked up way. Okay, and you expect people to stop talking about it? Nah, people are never gonna stop talking about it. You gotta pay for what your fathers did, man. That's what the scriptures say. And these Edomite children are not innocent either, man. These Edomite young men say, "Oh, well, we didn't do slavery." Well, your parents did, and you are your parents in what? In the reincarnation. All right, let's get that in Exodus 20. All right. Verse 5, thou shalt not bow down to them nor serve them, for I, Yahweh thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Right? So the Lord will visit your iniquity in the third or fourth generation. That's when you come back in the reincarnation. Okay, so these Edomites, they got to pay for what their fathers did, man, because they're benefiting off of it. And they're benefiting off of it, and on top of the benefit, they actually did it, and now they come back to reap the benefits, and they want to say, "Oh, I'm tired of hearing it." It's like, nah, it's too late, buddy. And a lot of them are speaking in a little bit more of a humble manner, saying they are the problem. They're admitting they're the problem, but that doesn't nullify the judgment they're gonna get, man. They have to go through 1,000 long drawn out years of hardcore slavery. Okay, just like the Israelites went through slavery. You apologize, okay, great. Now it's time for slavery. You see? And that's the way the Lord's gonna do it, man. But these devils, a lot of them are still proud. A lot of them are still talking shit, ready to hide their wickedness, but they can't hide no more, man. The world sees it. The world is seeing it, man. All right, this is and I want to bring this out, Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. Right? That's them civil wars, man. And these Edomites are gonna be fighting each other, man. These lower class versus the upper class, because they realize they're getting taxed to death. They're getting ripped off at every front by the people that are doing these things in the PDF files, man. You see? So that's two things for them to be mad at. And a lot of them, if you go onto social media and you watch the videos that people are bringing out on that topic, the comments are filled with people talking about using their Second Amendment. The comments of people saying, "Are you ready to use your Second Amendment yet, Americans?" And people are like, I'm ready. Everybody's saying they're ready for it. you know. So slowly but surely, these people are gonna stand up, and there's gonna be an insurrection, man. All right, and that's gonna be part of Jacob's trouble, because Jake will get caught up in it. 2/3 Jake could definitely get caught up in it. These Edomites, they hate the you know like a lot of these low level Edomites hate the Amalekites, even though they don't realize that's their own people. You know, but they're still gonna fight each other. But at the same time, they see you Jakes. After they done put somebody to death already, it's gonna be very easy for them to put a Jake to death. And if the Lord ain't with you in that time, then you're gonna get caught up in it, Jake. So it's time to wake up and smell the coffee, man. The world is heading toward a very chaotic state, and the MOTB is gonna be mandated very soon. All right, all these things the Lord said would happen are happening, man. All right, but the point being that Esau's being exposed. They gonna be fighting each other, going into all these different Salaki, give me 1 second. I'm having something happen. Give me 1 second. I don't want to make a mess here. Hang on. Alright, one of my necklaces just broke. But anyway, continuing on. Yeah, man, I'm going to read it again. Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, so yeah, the point being, there's going to be chaos, man. These Edomites are going to be divided. You already see them divided. Left versus right, lower class versus upper class. Most of the videos of people crying on the internet about the cost of living are a lot of these Edomites, man. Jake's complaining too, but Jake, we're used to oppression. Esau's not used to it, so they're ready to take somebody's head off, man. All right, and that's gonna be, like I said, a part of Jacob's trouble. That's gonna be a part of prophecy, and ultimately Trump wants this so he could do what? So he can mandate that martial law. Okay, so these Edomites start a civil war. Jake gets caught up in it. As soon as Jake fires a few shots, they're gonna make Jake the face of it. All right, call that martial law, and then boom, from right there, hey, they can mandate that chip very quickly, man, very quickly. Because with martial law, everything changes. There's more draconian measures. All right, there's gonna be cities locked down. You won't be able to move from place to place. Right, and ultimately, what? Like it says in Mark 3:25. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand, man. This is a sign of the end of the age. Okay, the end of Esau's empire, America. Okay, and shortly thereafter, they're going to mandate their chip, right? They're going to mandate their chip. It's still going to be a lot of division. And that's when the Lord's going to return, man. The Lord is going to return and stop this devil when he's in the fullness of his sufficiency, when he's about to eat, when he's about to fill his belly, like the scriptures say, when he's going to sit down and enjoy his NWO, right? That's when Yahweh Shai is going to step in, and that's going to be it, man. Because the Lord is not going to allow these monsters that are in power to continue to gain more power and take over the world and ultimately go to other planets and fuck those planets up, and basically I don't even think they would make it that far. They would probably end up destroying themselves in the process if the Lord allowed it. Hypothetical, if the Lord allowed these devils to continue, all life would cease, right? Because these devils are very destructive. They're not upright in spirit, and so they're not fit to rule. So the Lord is going to take them down. All right, but this is a beautiful thing that's getting ready to happen, man. A lot of these Edomites are getting roused up, right? Jake's already been roused up, but everybody's gonna be involved, man, because everybody's got kids, everybody's got a heart, for lack of a better word. Though a lot of people don't have a knowledge, they have a heart. They emotion. These elites will play on their emotions, and this might even be part of their plan, where in order to get you people to start a civil war, because they've been trying to egg you people on, but you people just don't have the nuts to really do anything. And so ultimately they're gonna try to force your hand, which really that's the Lord Yahweh Bashem Shai speeding up prophecy, man. You know, you people will do something and Trump will be able to call that martial law, man. You know? But ultimately, man, yeah, this is a glimpse, man. All these things you see in the comments, people talking about civil war, people talking about they want public executions for these people that are guilty in the PDF files, They're saying all that, man. So, hey, that's a glimpse of, you know, a civil war. You see it in the comments. People, first it starts with talk, right? What do they call that? Sedition, right? People inciting people to come up against their government. And then sedition turns into what? Sedition turns into insurrection. All right. So, yeah, man, be on the lookout for that. Been watching the news. Just keep praying, keep believing, Akim. That's pretty much all I want to go into today. I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us the truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful electors out there listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom.